Alright, so with Echo officially released from Marvel Studios, we now have so much MCU Disney Plus shows out from Phase 4 till Phase 5, and even with the ones that were good, and even with the ones that were bad, even with the ones just end up being stinkers or like hits or misses as well. And that's what I do for guys in this video, is give you guys my ranking of all the MCU Disney Plus shows from worst to best, from Phase 4 to Phase 5, even with the recent ones as well. And so, if you're new, then be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell so it's on any future videos. But now, let's get started. So, coming in last place is Secret Invasion. And now, this show was marketed to be a spy thriller, even from all the trailers and even everything that the show teases up to be, with Nick Fury leading his own project. And even as the show started, it had a very good, promising hook, a promising start, but it went towards nowhere and delivered one of the worst finales that I've ever seen, and probably it pissed many fans off, and possibly leaving us with more questions than answers, possibly involving one of our familiar characters, but even so, like, it led towards nowhere, and this really led the downfall of the MCU, and possibly with all the other projects, but I think this one is definitely a misfire, but it was a good show, but it was not that good. Next up is Echo, and now that this is the new recently released project that is now streaming on Disney Plus. And then I really liked this show. I really liked exploring the story of Maya Lopez, aka Echo, played by Alako Cox. I mean, she crushed it playing this character, as it told the story through a unique point of view. But even as we look at the entire show, as it was like 5 episodes, I feel like it was not that good, considering with the TVMA rating. I bet it was just a cheap marketing gimmick for viewership. And even as we look at the entire show, it was generally not that good of a show, because there was a lot, talking, like, and less, action. But even with the presence of Kingpin and Daredevil, it really set up so much for the future of the MCU, especially for the Netflix characters, especially for Daredevil born again. But even with the Echo show, which I had fun with, but it was not that good, and I enjoyed it. But even with the rest of the episodes, it kind of felt rushed and really just lacks all the pacing, and it was just some weird things that were added, but it was a good enough solid show. And now, next up is She-Hulk Attorney at Law. And now, I think when the show was coming out, I mean, I was very excited to explore Jennifer Walters, aka She-Hulk. Really like exploring the story of her being a lawyer and handling cases. And even with being a 9-episode, like a 30-minute, like, I think it was like a lawyer comedy show. But even with the entire series, like, I did not like it, because even with the first 4 episodes, I kind of like felt like fun, but even with the rest of it, that was like filler, and just left in like a total head scratch on my head. And even with the entire plot, that was not interesting, and even with the finale that had a Jennifer Walters like rewriting everything, and plus, I mean, I like the idea of it, but it was not that good of a show. And even from the first episode alone, I kind of felt like at the end of a scene from like a movie. But even with the entire show, I kind of have fun with it. It was a fun show. It was not that great. Plus, it did some things way too much. And next up is Miss Marvel. And now, I enjoyed the show. I thought it was fun. I enjoyed Uma Vellani and her performance and what she brought to the character of Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel. And I can't wait to see her shine in any MCU project that she is in next. And even with her being in the Marvels, of which this show did lead into, but even with the entire show overall, I really enjoyed it. I really liked all the coming of age high school vibes. It kind of reminds us of the old days of television, like those high school vibes. But even it had one of those Scott Pilgrim vibes. Even with the text graphic animations. But even as I got towards the middle of the show, and it introduced us to this villain that probably didn't matter in the show, and it was just bad writing. But even with the finale that I gave us one of our first mutants in the MCU, and I can't wait to see what Marvel does. But even with the entire show, it exploring the life of Kamala Khan and from her family, and I really enjoyed this character, and I liked the show for what it was. And next up is What If, and now I really enjoyed the show. I thought it's a really fun show. I really liked all the ideas and concepts of what Marvel came up with, of turning every iconic moment that ever happened in the MCU and turning it into something different, and that was so much fun, especially in What If Season 2, which I thought was better than Season 1, and which this came out during the holidays, and even the all 9 episodes, it really went into something different, especially as I was in love with the Christmas episode with Happy Hogan involved, and I really enjoyed everything, and even with the whole concept, and I really liked What If, and even with all the iconic characters that were in these different scenarios, which I had a fun time with, and I hope I keep this trend going, and I can't wait for the next season and for What If brings in the MCU. Next up is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and now I really liked the show. I thought it was really great, and even exploring the side of Bucky and Sam that were never used to see before in TV format, which was something that was really cool to see. And you would experiencing Bucky Barnes and what he was going through, especially after being a brainwashed Hydra assassin and being the Winter Soldier, and just dealing with therapy and dealing with his thoughts. And you with Sam Wilson, who's of course our new Captain America, who has a new, now we have a new Captain America movie coming out, A Brave New World. But even that we got to explore Sam as more of a hero, that we see him more as the Falcon, and even dealing with the Flag Smashers, and even dealing with the John Walker, new Captain America, and even like what Bucky and Sam were facing up against, and even with having all this political stuff being involved in the show, it ended in a way that definitely concerned some people, but I think I liked the way that ended. But I thought it was a really great show, especially exploring this side of Bucky Barnes and Sam Wilson. And now, next up is Hawkeye, and I really enjoyed the show. I thought this was really fun, especially as it was during the holiday season. I think this is a show that will definitely be rewatched every year, and I love the relationship between Clint Barton and Kate Bishop, and even like with Kate Bishop, like she really shines in the show. I mean, I love the Haley Steinfeld's performance in this character, it's especially with Clint Barton as he is separated from his family at Christmas. And just going after these people as forcing him out of retirement, just go take out bad guys, and even with the Tracksuit Mafia, even that we got the MCU debut of Kingpin in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and now that he is now canon, and now it was just a really fun holiday time, and I really liked the show, and even that it gave us Echo, which led into her own show. I mean, I enjoyed the Hawkeye series, and this was a really fun show to enjoy overall, and it was just a great fun time during the holiday season. And now, next up is Moon Knight, and now I really enjoyed the show, and I really liked Oscar Isaac's performance as Mark Spector, aka Moon Knight, and even all these different personalities that Mark Spector has inside of him, with Stephen Grant and even Jake Lockley, and even like exploring this character, it was really fun to enjoy on screen. Even with the Moon Knight suit up transformation, it looked totally sick in exploring the Egyptian mythology that was inside of Moon Knight and discovering all that. And even with Arthur Harrow, played by Ethan Hawke, I thought he crushed it as well. But even with the finale, and even for how the show ended, it was completely rushed, especially as this had 6 episodes. But I really wish we had like a second season, but it's not yet confirmed by Marvel. But I really wish that we could see this character continue later on with Moon Knight, and this character has so much potential, especially within like the next Avengers film. I hope that he gets to have a team up. But I really enjoyed the show, except like the earlier ones are good, but even towards the end it felt rushed. But I thought it was a very good Disney Plus show. And now next up is WandaVision. Now this kickstarted off Phase 4 of the MCU and literally Marvel content that we've ever gotten in a while, especially as we didn't get any the year before that, obviously because of the pandemic. But even that, like, this was a great Disney Plus show. It gave us Wanda and Vision as a married couple, and even Wanda like having to keep everyone in her fake town. It's especially in her mind, and it was like each theory growing and guessing like what was gonna happen next after each and every episode. Even with the finale that pissed many fans off and to believe things that were and were not true. But even that, it gave us the Scarlet Witch and even with the Wanda, actually one of the greatest characters in the MCU. But even though that she deserves her own solo film by now, but even with the show, like I really liked exploring the side characters of Wanda and Vision, even though they were side characters in the MCU, but they got their own show in the MCU, and I truly find this to be great. But coming in number 1 is Loki, and I truly find this to be one of the greatest Disney Plus shows to ever come from Marvel, and Marvel really reinvented this version of Loki that we've never seen before, especially as this is the 2012 version of the character, and it really got to reinvent him in like a unique ways, and I really liked exploring the TVA and learning new stuff. It would variants, and even with Loki season 2, it really raised all the high stakes, especially for this character, and like and just continuing his journey into finding his glorious purpose. Even towards the end of that show, it really was the perfect ending, the perfect closure to this character arc. And it was really one of the greatest Disney Plus shows that I've ever seen. Plus, it showed King, it showed us like a variant of King, and even it set up so much stuff for the future of the MCU, especially for the multiverse, and even for the next couple Avengers films. And there's so much more down the road, and I truly love this show. And so there you have it. This is my ranking of all the MCU Disney Plus shows that have come out, and this is with Phase 4 and Phase 5 from all those years. And even as we have more Disney Plus content from the MCU coming out this year, 2024, and hopefully I'll get to rank all those and so much more as well. And so that is going to be it for this video, and just let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below, and what thoughts on my ranking, and how would you rank all the MCU Disney Plus shows from Phase 4 to Phase 5, and just let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, and subscribe and turn on notifications about future videos. You'll also follow my social, which are linked down below. And with that, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.